regarding this, you could just ask me. I think we've waited quite of a bit for everyone to join us, so hopefully we can kickstart. So today I'll just like to talk about survey. So today will just be mainly, let me go back, stop. I hope the recording hasn't started. Okay. So I'll be talking about, in today's class, I'll be talking about static testing. I don't know if anyone is recording, or I'll just start the class that way, if it's fine. Admin, should I carry on? Let me see if I can record it.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So have you started? Yeah, okay.
So it's waiting for it's live now. Go ahead. People to join.
Okay, good. Okay, so as we have said, today we'll just be talking more about static testing and also more of review, how you do static testing, how you perform the review, what the types of testing, type of reviews that we do when it comes to static testing. So some of the topics we're going to cover today will be review, walkthrough, inspection, then we've got question and answer, then we talk about some basics about requirement. So let's just jump into it. So today I'll just be talking what is static testing. So static, something that is stagnant, that you are not running anything, the thing is just static, staying on its own, but you are still testing. That is what static is. So it's just like you're just standing, reading through something, reading through a book. You are more like doing static testing, reading through it. That's a form of static testing. So in software testing life cycle, in testing generally, what static means is that is a form that is being a method that is being used when codes are not being executed. So static testing on its own is more of, you are not using code, you are not doing anything with code, you are not having to review, you are not having to run something or execute something that code is needed. So static testing, you can just be reading through something and be performing your static testing. That is static testing, which we are going to talk more about. Also, we have the twin, that is dynamic testing. So the dynamic testing now is more of you doing some code execution. So your dynamic testing in this time is going to be more of the automation. So when you are doing the automation class, then we are executing code. So those test cases that are automation candidates that you are, those regression pack that you have that you want to test, those features that you run and you do them all the time, you want to automate them, that is dynamic testing. So that sits under dynamic testing. But today we are emphasizing more on the static part, the one that we are not reviewing the code, that we are not executing the code. That is what we are. So majorly, static testing is a method of testing whereby work products are reviewed without executing them. I am not executing anything when I'm doing this static testing, and I'll tell you how it takes place when we are testing. You are in your sprint one now. You should be doing some static testing. So what you're going to be doing in the static testing, I will explain to you. This is a construct of dynamic testing, which it requires execution of code or program. That is dynamic testing. That one is different from static testing. So testing work product without the work product code being executed. We are not executing code. We are not executing anything. So this one is more static testing. Like now you are in your sprint one. In your sprint one, my expectation is that we do more static testing. When I mean static testing, you've got user stories. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you would have had user stories, things that you're meant to do. So you can be doing some static testing, reading through it, having a clearer understanding. What don't I understand? What do I understand? What question do I need to ask? All those questions are vital, because when you ask that question, it might lead to another answer where wasn't covered. So it is easier to catch that bug earlier. Forget this is just still reading through. So it's a good phase to start catching bugs. So the next thing, I lay emphasis on the explanation so that we can just have a clearer view and understanding of it. So I said static testing enables the earlier detection of bugs, of defects. So in either your requirements, your user story, your design specification, your um, um, your infrastructures, all those things, you can do static testing. You do static testing on almost a lot of things. So when you're doing static testing, it helps us to quickly find those bugs easily, and that is what we want to imbibe in this phase. That is what I want you to get, because even when you start your new job, there are phases that we do static testing. Like me, I don't talk predominantly when you're saying, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm performing some static testing. No, once you say static testing, everybody thinks, "Oh, it's a big thing. It's a very good thing to do it." But you will need it, and it's a necessity for every one of us as testers, as anyone within the team, to actually do the static testing. You will get a clearer understanding when we go deeper and further. So what are you testing? Exactly. That's where you're coming about your requirements. In this phase, you are working in an agile environment. So we are talking about user stories. In your given when in the scenarios, in the your acceptance criteria, do you understand it? Your acceptance criteria must be clear and concise. You must have a clearer picture of it. Let each of the line make meaning to you. That is the essence of acceptance testing. That is the essence of user story. It's more when you are reading it, if it's possible, read it gently so that it sinks into you. You can actually get a clearer understanding of it before so it enables us. Static testing enables the early detection of defects, before dynamic testing is performed. So this is a phase before dynamic testing. So you go through this phase before you start dynamic testing. So if you've not done static testing, you can't just start dynamic. You will have to go through this phase, then we'll start our dynamic testing. Defects found early are often more cheaper to fix than the defects found later in the life cycle. Organizations should prioritize static testing as much as they prioritize dynamic testing if they desire an all-round assurance of quality. So it's just a better understanding for you to know the necessity of static testing and dynamic testing. That's also part of testing. You might be asked in an interview, what's static testing, what's dynamic testing? Just in an easy and concise way. Static testing, you are testing without the code, without executing anything, while dynamic testing, you are testing, executing the code. So that takes us to another phase, which is the objective of static testing. What are the objectives of static testing? The objectives of static testing: one, it identifies and corrects defects in the requirement so as it to prevent defects in design or code. So that's your user story. If static testing is meant to be done even before development starts, you should have created a task on your Azure board to say static testing. So what you want to do, if they ask you what are your tasks, static testing, in your task breakdown, review user story, review of user story, so these are your static testing. You are reading it to get the clear understanding. Ask questions. Then it leads you to acceptance criteria. Someone might tell you that as a user, as a long reach user, or as a user, in order for you to access the website, you should be able to log in. So, and in the acceptance criteria, they just wrote it there to say users should be able to log in and users should do this. Your question now should be, how do you expect the user to log in? What do you want the user, how do you want them to, the login to be? Is it going to be username, password? Is it going to have different categories, special characters? What are the things that the password is going to entail? This question should be stated in the requirement, in the acceptance criteria column in that user story. It gives everybody clarity so that when you start picking your test to start writing, designing your test cases, then it is easier for you to be able to catch all those edge cases and also to be able to script for them. So at this phase, what you want to do is that you cannot ask, oh, you just said to be able to log in. What are the criteria for login? The username and password. What are the characters that we need for username? What are the data types that it needs to be there? Should it be formatted? What kind of thing? So those questions, they can break it down for you. Don't make things too ambiguous. Let it be clear, simple for everybody to understand. So that if when people take that story, it is easier for me to be able to read, to understand. In various workplaces, that is the expectation. When you state a user story, when you state any requirement, give us an acceptance criteria. Let me ask my question. Okay, I've read this user story. Now my question is, how do you expect us to, how are the login functionalities going to be? What is it going to work? Is it going to entail username, password? What are the types of password that we're going to write in terms of character? How many letters is it going to be? How many numbers? What are the things it entails? So you take all those edge cases, we take it. So again, you now look, okay, who are those that can use this? How will you be able to validate it? How is it going to be? So those questions can be explained by the business analyst, by the product owner, by whosoever have written those user story. So that gives you a clearer view. So identify and correct defects in test cases like your script and also test data. So it will identify and correct. So when you are doing static testing, when you finish to when you're writing your test script, it helps you a lot because by the time you are doing you can be reading through and see, oh, I've actually omitted this line here. We need to add it. Test scripts are meant to be updated. Test cases are meant to be updated all the time. So that's the way this works. So identify defects which are not easily found by dynamic testing. Don't forget, we are going to do automation, but automation is not going to be 100%. Manual testing still sits in between it. So you have to, there are some things automation testing cannot catch. It has to be done validated manually. So with automation, it gives you a clearer view. So you are welcoming it. So that's why I said static, dynamic. So both of them, they work hand in hand, but one is done before the other. So by the time you start your dynamic testing, which is getting code involved, then it give you another picture of how things work. So everything you have tested manually now, some of them are going to be will qualify for automation candidates. And you'll be told how the automation candidates are. Your regression pack is part of an automation candidate. Some of them will go there, you will automate it. That's the dynamic phase. So it reduces cost of quality over the software lifetime, improves team communication and collaboration. Now you're asking question. As you're asking, how is it the login going to be designed? You will hear the developer saying, oh, that's true. So what do you expect to be there? Now the product owner will say, okay, I didn't think it through that way. We can put it this way. So the communication within the team is now fluid. You can hear everyone speaking. You can hear everyone asking questions. That's the essence of static testing. Let's meet it. Let's understand what we want to do. You need an understanding of the thing that you want to test. Like me, I read things severally. I let it make meaning. I let it make sense. I let it look at what I can derive to be able to create whatever it is. I don't need to go to your organization. Me seeing whatever, just a picture of whatever you have in your user story, I can tell you what exactly they want you to test here. So it's not, though it comes with experience after some time, but you can start building the experience by, if you want to read things slowly to make sense, to make it, let it make meaning to you. When things make meaning to you, you'll be able to relate it to others. So, like if I want to talk, I make sure that I understand what I want to say before it's let out. So if you don't understand it, then you won't be able to express yourself. And don't forget, the expression is what we want when it comes to testing. So we want you to be able to explain to me when I try to launch the browser, then the browser crashed. That's what I want to know what has happened. So if you don't understand that the browser has crashed, how do you want to explain it to someone? So now that takes us to the work products. What are work products? The things exactly that we can test. So static testing can be applied to any work product, anything. You can test it statically. Below are some major ones. We are talking about requirement, either business or software. So requirement, user story, and BRD, use cases. All this can be they are categorized under requirements. We are talking about the architectural and design. So if you're talking about the design, we are now talking about looking at the design. From the design, you can lead it. Is designs are just like map. From here, integrate to this. So you can see when you see the first step and you move there, like when we are reading a map, when I say that from point A, I'm going to point B. If you don't know how the journey is to point B, you can ask, how did this person get to point B? Why did you jump to point D? There should be a C before a D. So the person that's designed it might have looked at it all through. He or she might not see it. Hence, when I have read through a document 100 times, if I give it to you, you will find your bug there. So it's not easy that when you can review, when others review your stuff, they find errors. When you also review other people's things, they find error. Hence, the reason we have different phases when it comes to testing. We start from the development environment where everything is being, the chunk of it, it moves to test environment. It's been tested in development correctly. Now, the same thing has been moved to test environment. Now, testing has to test. But we don't forget, as we are testing in that test environment, we are still finding bugs. So that shows that it's not because that person did not develop well, but bugs, that is the way it is. He has tested, he can't see any error again there. That's the reason he deployed it. And you too, now you have tested, you can, by that time, when you finished and signed off test environment, you want to move it to UAT, user acceptance testing, which is done in the business environment or a special environment. That's the next phase, UAT. When you go to UAT, I would tell you predominantly bugs too, a lot of bugs will be caught there. But it doesn't mean that you didn't do the due diligence when it comes to seed. So that's why we have different levels before it gets to life. So that at least it's going to be minimal bugs that we're going to get in life. That's the reason for all this phase. So also, you can do a static testing on code. You don't need to run the code. Reading through the code, you can see, okay, they said this is logging. You can be looking at each line and be reviewing it. That is static review. You are not running that code. You just want to read the line that they in sync. Then our test artifacts. What are our test artifacts? We're talking about the test plan, the strategy, test cases, test script, the test data. All these are our test artifacts. They are part of things that can be, static testing can be performed on. Then we've got the user guide. What is user guide? For example, if you have a car, there is a manual in the car. That manual tells you the brake is underneath the car. The steering wheel is right in front of you. If you do this, this is where the airbag is. So that manual is what is used, is called user guide. If you've bought a plane, we'll be given something that this is how to tie your seatbelt. You'll be given an instruction, just a sheet in front of you to look at it. Tie sit your seatbelt. When if there's anything, take the airbag. So they'll tell you where it is. Use the oxygen, use the max. All these are in that user guide. So that user guide is just thing to guide you around of what you have done. So these are, and you can now do static testing also on all these mentioned areas. So by and large, that gives us, it takes us to the front. We are getting closer to where exactly we are going to. So now, categories and types of static testing. We've got the review, we've got the walkthrough session, we've got the inspection. So like the review, there's informal, formal review, which we'll talk deeper on it when it comes there. So let's go to the first one. So the first one is a review. What is the review all about? So because we want to detect the bugs earlier, we want to be doing, there are several types of review you can talk when it comes to static testing. So you might be asked that what type of static testing are you doing? You can either do a review, you can do a walkthrough, and it can be an inspection. And I will tell you how rigorous and what things entail in each of it. So review. A review is an assessment of a work product. What are the work products we have spoken about? The requirement, the test artifacts. We have talked about the user guide. We've talked about the code. And so these are the work products that we are kind of testing. Its purpose, in addition to finding defects, aside from it, can be to generate new ideas or solutions. So like now, you have said username and password. Now you want to ask, what type of username are we going to use? Is it going to be first name and last name? Is it going to be an email? Is it going to be a nickname? What exactly are we going to do? So they cannot think, oh, and we didn't think it through that it should either be an email or, yeah, okay, let's agree as a team. What do you think? Okay, let's use an email. Okay, no, someone says we cast a vote. Okay, let's use a nickname. Now you want to ask, you want to use a nickname. If that nickname has been taken, what are we going to do? Oh, really? That is true, Yemi. The nickname can be taken. So let's now put a message to say, nickname taken. Can you take another nickname? That's the way, the communication, that's the way you review. So they never thought of it. They might think of it or overlook it. That's the reason we work together as a team. So those ideas will now be coming out. Oh, we can do this, we can do that. So you have brought a new thing into it. That is the way. It may be performed by an individual, maybe just only you, or group of people, or it could be within the team. It can be formal with the essence that with a defined process or documentation. That is the way the formal works. It's with a defined process or documentation. Or better still, it could be informal. Like, for instance, you can be at your workplace. You can now walk to the fellow, maybe to the next tester or to the developer to say, okay, like we do, you work there, or let's do a peer review. So I got there, oh yeah, this is what I've been doing. This is it from here. So you're just static testing. You're not executing it. The way you are doing it, you cannot ask, oh, stop, at this phase, are you not meant to put the email? And also, you've add coded here to say this. Why can't we add all this edge case here so that it will be captured there? Yeah, that's fine. Fantastic. If it's something they can do, they will tell you. If they've done it, they will tell you. So those things are reviews just for us to be able to talk and get things to be done. So, or informal, like a colleague just walking over to someone's desk and reviewing his or her work. That's a review. Review can be technical or non-technical. So, unlike walkthrough, we'll talk about that in the next session, during which both parties must be present at the same time. Reviews can be conducted by reviewers without the presence of the author of the work product. So it can be done without the person that created the user story. So it's not compulsory that you are reviewing your static testing on the user story. You can write down all your questions, you can do that. So that's just a type of static testing you're doing, which is the review side. So that takes us to another part of this types of review, which is the walkthrough session. And at the walkthrough, what walkthrough is all about is, for instance, when you get to an organization, you're starting now. If you are not part of if you are working on an existing application, when I mean existing, like blue sky environment is already live, is an existing application. But a green field, we have not started anything. All of us are starting together. You won't need a walkthrough there. Getting it? That session is not predominantly going to, because the walkthrough can be done in every phase. Of course, you will still need someone can still walk you through that document that they've given you. Like the design is a walkthrough session. If you don't have an understanding, you can say, can you walk me through the design? So that architect can just say, okay, this is how it, and be showing you how it works through, even if it's in a greenfield environment, because he or she developed it. You also can give a walkthrough of your static test cases, the test cases that you've not executed. You can give a walkthrough of it to say the reason why I've written and verified this is static testing. So from there, someone can be able to say, oh, you omitted this, there's a gap here. You didn't test this edge case. Then you can now add it. That is a walkthrough of your test case. So walkthrough is done in any phase. So when you get to an organization, the first thing you want to ask for a walkthrough, either of an existing system or just a walkthrough of the news, the 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 new project you're going to work on, so that you can get an overview, you can get an understanding of what exactly you're coming into. So a walkthrough is a tour or demonstration of your work product. So those work product that we have, it could be on the requirement, like the user story. You can ask for a walkthrough. Can you please give me a walkthrough of the user story? They will read it to you. Okay, as a person is saying it, is explaining to you. It's a walkthrough session. Its purpose, in addition to finding defects, can be to generate new ideas or solutions, gather improvement suggestions, or provide training. So those are that training. You or yourself, when you're having a walkthrough session, it gives you a bigger brain, a bigger picture of what exactly we want to do. So it is a very vital activity to be done when we are actually testing. It may take the form of a scenario, a dry run, or simulation. It may be conducted formally or informally. Formally, like you've got everything, maybe you've got the design document open, you've got your user story, or informally, maybe you just going to the person and saying, okay, can you please walk me through what you have been doing? And you go to the person's desk or meet the person or book a Zoom meeting, and the person can actually walk you through what he or she has been doing. More of a demo to give you an understanding of how that session works. That's the way a walkthrough is. Don't forget, we have done the review, we are in the walkthrough. So now, it now takes you to the last part of this session, which is the inspection. So walkthrough is also a necessary part when it comes to testing, because it's kind of vital. We need it. We need to have an understanding of whatever we want to test before testing commences. If you don't have an understanding, you can't test properly. I will tell you the truth. If I don't understand something, I would ask that, no, I didn't get it. Tell me what logic is behind it. Is it two by two? Is this and that? Most especially when you're working on big data. Most anything you're working on, if you don't have a clearer understanding, just organize a walkthrough session. Explain to me what you do. If okay, walkthrough is just like you saying, tell me, okay, explain to me exactly what is your workflow. How do you do it? Okay, you open the laptop, you do this, you explain to me. That is what walkthrough does. So it's just like using that terminology to bring you to know, oh, yes, this person is professional. But walkthrough is more of train me, give me the full tour of what I need, train me. That's what it means. So the last bit of it is what we call inspection. So what is inspection? Inspection. So you are inspecting. That's another walkthrough session. But this time around, we've said inspection. You can see that it's going to be done by people that are experts in it. They are going to be the ones to take hold of inspection. Inspection. So an inspection is a careful examination or scrutiny of the work product. So those work product, we want to inspect it. Inspection phases work a lot, most especially during every phase it works a lot, because at the requirement gathering, once the requirement is being gathered, I stand to be corrected, but the business analyst gathers it and shares it out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Inspect it. Let's have a workshop. Look at what I have written. This is what my understanding is. Is this the right approach? Then people will tell him, no, these are experts. They are the ones that are going to use the application. They are the ones that know it. They are the ones that have the bigger brain. They are the stakeholders. They can tell you, oh no, you omitted this, you didn't add this. Then that's the way it works. Then, aside from the purpose of it finding defects, it can be to evaluate quality standards, assess individual performance, or identify process improvement area. So there are a lot of things that inspection helps with. At that phase, look, when people give requirements, when they give user stories, when user stories are stated, of course, we know it's a website we want to create, but everybody, you can't, the whole of the information, everything comes alive when things are coming to shape. So it's not that, it is when people remind you of something, it triggers the button to say, oh, that's true. So that's it will help improvement. It helps with quality, performance. So all these things are the key things that inspection helps with. Normally, an inspection is conducted formally with a defined process and documentation. Also, inspections are usually conducted by seniors or experts, and they are more rigorous than reviews. So these are the stages of static testing. Now my question is, you are in your sprint one. Let's bring it to a normal scenario. What you're currently doing is one of these three. It's either walkthrough, you can be reviewing, you can do a walkthrough, you can do an inspection. What are we going to review? Take our user story, start reviewing it. When you're reviewing the user story, ensure that all the stories you have, they all have acceptance criteria. Also, ensure if you're going to be this thing, if there's no wireframe, let them add it to it. Every relevant information should be added to the story to help you. So all these are the key things that you need when it comes to static testing, static review in general, and also requirement review. Now, I would give you a chance to ask me questions. And before you ask me questions, I'm going to ask you questions. Then we'll start the question and answer time. So these are the ways that you are going to be doing your review. So at every phase, I don't want you to forget everything you have taught. You know, the reason is that when you go out there, how I wish you could start reviewing some jobs. When you look at some of them, just streamline and go to some job search and look at what is expected from jobs, from what is required when you are applying for a testing role. Just look at some of the jobs. Honestly speaking, you'll be so amazed that everything you have been taught in the class to this very time are the things they are going to be asking you. The last bit of it is where you're going to start soon, and that's the automation type, in terms of your dynamic testing, where you're going to use tools to start executing your regression testing. That is the dynamic part. But let me tell you, if it is for manual testing, I can tell you predominantly, we've even taught you more than what is expected in your roles and responsibility. So I'll just say, this phase, I'll say a thank you, and we all, before I would do that, let me take you to the last one, which is the guidelines. How you will do a review. I've said it. I'll just take it one after the other. You can follow the guideline mentioned below for effective static testing. Make sure the objectives of each of your static testing are clear. What exactly do you want to review? I want to review user story, verify access. That's what you want to want. That's what you want to. What are the type of static what do you want to do? Check, I understand the story is not ambiguous, is complete, is well clear enough, and I understand it. The acceptance criteria, all that I need is there. Those are the things that you want to know. The next thing, clarify the roles and responsibility of each person involved. Who are the people involved here? The business analyst, the developers, the product owner. What are their roles and responsibilities? Don't forget, this also was mentioned in our test plan and our test script and our test strategy. Likewise, select the specific static testing type. Do you want to do a review? Do you want to do a walkthrough? Or do you want to do an inspection? So let's start. If, well, for instance, you want to do a review. Okay, I want to review the user story with the BA. So BA, you are the business analyst. You gave us the user story. Please, can I have a review, a static review session with you? So that is it. You tell her the type of review done in static, in reviews phase when it's static testing is mainly reviewing, reading through without executing anything, without testing anything. Is a static one. So I want to read it. Okay, this is it. You can either do it, you can do the review session by yourself, even without the author. You can review it yourself. So that's phase. If you now want a walkthrough of it, now you can invite maybe the analyst to come in. Okay, can we have a walkthrough session of the user story so that I can have a clearer picture of it? Is it an inspection you want? That inspection to be like, oh, you have done this part of my own. Can you please come and help me look at my test cases? Are there any gaps? It's not that the person is on it to help you design your test case. It is your duty as a tester to design your test case. So those things. So when you want to discuss with people, we need to know the appropriate specific type of review you want to do. So select the specific static testing type, appropriate to the type and level of work products and participants. So if the review is with the user, is it with the business analyst, fine. If the walkthrough, if you want to look at the developers one, if you want an inspection, so just know the type that you want. So start static testing early. If the work product is large, divide them into chunks and begin from the first chunk itself. So it should be a phase. It should be from one level to the other. Then the next thing, create and use checklists as much as possible. Like I always suggest at the end, checklist. Well, you use checklists to ensure that, okay, have you done each of these? So it's not, the checklist is just like a tick. Do you have access? Do you understand how to have access? Yes, tick. Were you able to log in? Yes, tick. All those kind of checklists to be sure that yes, you have a clearer a proper static testing and review is done. So while you are doing the review, you can create your checklist. Okay, these are the things that is meant to be done. In my checklist will involve the acceptance criteria. Okay, these are the edge cases. These are the things that are not. Okay, yes, it's got its tick. So conduct static testing as formally as possible with defined process and documentation. So please, then give enough time to participants for preparation and schedule sessions with adequate notice. So if you want to do all these sessions, you can't just wake up and just say 5 minutes for review. No, I know it's done, but prepare them down. This is what I want to do. An email will suffice. Just tell them that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Then it gives them an edge for them to know that this is exactly what you want to. This is the motive that you are behind the review. Incorporate static testing in the company's policy, procedures, so that there is organizational buy-in. When you give them, it makes them know the value of it. So by and large, those are the guidance, those are our guidelines, and I'll say a very big thank you to you all, and let's move to our wonderful session Q&A. Correct. So let's have it first. Okay. So before we start with question and answer, let me ask my own first question. What is static testing? No, don't drop your hands. What's static testing? If you want to, okay, let me go to this. Static testing manually. Yes, this is static testing, manual testing. No, we can say yes in some place. Because static, you're only testing it, but you can't say it is. Manual testing is a big thing. Manual testing incorporates everything. Manual testing is regression testing, retesting. At that time, you're already executing. Static testing is you're not executing anything. So it's a difference. It can be. So it's different. So it's going to be that. Is it only the execution? Is it only that execution is not carried out? Yes, because you're not executing anything. Static testing could be you are reviewing the document, you're reading it, you're looking at the code, you are not executing it. Executing enhance some content to be added, you playing with it and that. How is static testing related to non-clickable functions? So if I believe what you mean non-clickable function, you just have a website that you opened and you just want to be sure that those things are there. If that it is, then you review it. But the only thing is that you are not doing anything when it comes to that. No execution expected, is just to review. So my own question tonight, I've started. What is static testing? Start typing, start saying it on mute. Let's hear you.
It's a kind of test on products when you do the execution or using of code.
No, static. I asked for static.
Static testing helps us to detect early defects.
It's the type of testing that doesn't involve coding, and it helps to detect early. It helps early detection of defects.
Correct, but static testing codes are not executed.
Codes are not executed. Yeah.
So what is dynamic testing?
Yeah, it involves using of code.
It involves code.
Executing of code.
Correct. So that is it. So we do dynamic testing before static testing. True or false?
No.
False.
No,
False.
only
Correct.
static come first.
Yeah. Okay. Great. What are the types of static testing and the reviews that and what are the types of static testing?
Review,
We have
walkthrough,
review, walkthrough, and inspection.
inspection.
Correct. Fantastic. So, can you remember some guidelines? What your expectations are when you come to?
We create and use checklists as much as possible.
Yeah, understand the objectives.
Correct.
Clarify the role and responsibilities.
Clarify the roles and responsibilities of each person involved.
Absolutely. Yes.
Test early.
Correct. So now, let's start. Kobe, your hand is up. So your question.
Oh, thank you. 1 second. Yeah, under the objectives of static testing, one of them was that it reduces cost of quality over the software's lifetime. I was wondering, could you expand on that?
So what I meant there was, because let's go back to it so that this is so no. Reduce cost of quality over the software lifetime. So cost of quality, I'm talking about the quality, not the cost. So what it does is, before there are levels at which bugs are kind of expensive to fix. So the way it happens is, if we don't find bug at static level, we don't find bugs at earlier, we don't do anything. By the time we find it at the end, we've already put in a lot of activity. Then we found the bug at the end. So if we want to fix that defect, if we want to make this, we have to come back to the beginning. That's from requirement, verify the requirements, start going. Don't forget, a cycle have gone to the end. We have wasted that money to that very end. Then we are now coming back to start from those resources that we are using. So another phase of money. So what this is implying is that it will reduce those costs that we are going to, the cost of whatever is meant to be at the end. We would have detected it earlier. That is what this phrase is actually implying. So it will reduce the cost of quality over the software lifetime. So it's the way and the quality of what we want. We can get it at the very minimal, at the very early stage before it goes to the end of the project. So in testing, we have a phase that when you find the first bug at the static level, it's very easy. It's very cheap for us to do it. When you find it at the next stage, which is at the dev environment, it's still getting minimal because people have not been involved. By the time it moves to testing, of course, it's still very good. We are still within the range. But when you start getting to the UAT, getting to production, getting to life, then it's now getting more expensive because we've put in effort, time, money, and everything. So those are the things that help. So we are trying to reduce the cost of it before that time. Does that give you a clear understanding of it?
Yes, very much. Thank you. Yeah.
So again, Opeyemi Emmanuel.
Okay, thank you for this kind of lecture. It'll be very helpful to us. And I have, let me say, 3 things I want to say. So Firstly, the way I understand it as intern and practically, can I just say a recap of what I could, if I'm wrong, yeah.
Yes.
So just a static testing, to the way I understand what you said, that we need is a first step towards anything before continuing with our test cases, before doing anything. We have to read through several times on the Azure DevOps, the requirement and the acceptance criteria. We have to read it thoroughly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then, in order to ask probing questions from the product owner or the BAs.
Yes.
Okay. Now, secondly, what is it, because from what you've taught us, I could see that static testing is not limited to the starting of the project, but it seems it's cut across till we finish our testing. Because I think, okay, so because I thought you said we have to read through our code when we start to, just to read through more and more after we understand what you want to write the test cases on, and we have to read through. So is that correct, please?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to, like now, what you have written is because you understand what you have written. That's the way you are able to explain to us, for us to understand. And that's why you're asking us that question. Or you put it in your user story. Because you understand that user story, you can develop 100 test cases on one, because you have a clearer picture of it. And that's the reason I'm emphasizing that you should get an understanding. So in this sprint one, it's more of static testing on everything, all the document. In fact, when you write your test plan, when you finish designing it, you should still do static testing on it. Because when you finish, when you're designing, you are bringing everything together. You will think you have read through it. Drop that test plan. Don't look at it again after you have finished designing. Come back the second or third day. I'm telling you, you'll find something new. You will change some things in it. That's the way it is. So, and what you're doing at that time is mainly static testing, just having an understanding of what it is. So it's across all through. Yeah, continue.
Okay, now, secondly, this one is not part of the what you thought of us. Yeah. After we're in sprint one now. The developer are developing the user story. They want to make it to become reality. So is it, before we started testing, they will just give us the URL to go and to start testing, or how does it work in the real world? Are they, after they finish their, the sprint one on their own, they are finished their coding, they just give us the URL to start our own work, or how does that work? That's the second question before I move to the third one.
Okay, so in a very good one. So let's start now. We are in sprint one. Everybody, so you have to listen because it's everyone now. So we are in sprint one now. You as a tester, you have your own work to do there. The developer have their work to do. Business analysts have their work to do. Product owner have their work to do. Now, I am cutting down to ourselves, we as testers. So you as a QA test analyst over there, your sprint one, the developer is going to start developing. You as a tester over there, your first task should be, your static testing has to commence immediately. As static testing has commenced, which I am certain that my students here, they have started already with their test plan and their test strategy. I am certain about that. So those two will be in place. You'll be writing and designing those two in place. Likewise, if a user story is down, preceding a user story that you are doing static testing on, you can't use the whole sprint to do static testing. It's couple of, so that's where your static testing is you reading to get an understanding. It's just couple of hours should be fine. Then when you finish that, you now start designing your test case. Now bringing back to the question of what OpenAI has. For now, You have not seen anything. Nothing has been given to you. The developers have gone their own way. We as tester, what you want to do is your test preparation. Your test preparation revolves, your first act is to static review. Your second thing is to get an overview of what the project is all about and start designing your test plan. Your other view is to start looking also intermittently, start doing your test strategy. Your other tasks should be your test cases. Likewise, your test environment. Now, you ask that, how does it work? When the developer finishes, in a real world, we have different teams in different organizations. With test environment, it depends on how the application is. If it's a web app, we don't need much. If it's a native application, there are ways that it works. But because it's a web application, the only thing the developer will give you is going to, when they finish, they will give you a URL, which is what a URL. People can still see my screen. You can still see my screen. Oh. So it can give you can't see my screen again. Oh, sorry. But anyway, so the URL is going to be the HTTP or www. Is going to give you the exact endpoint. That endpoint is what, when you do the correct endpoint, it should lead to the test environment. So that is your test environment. They will be the one to create that test environment from you. From there, you will start seeing the test case that you have written, the user story come to place. So the play that is coming into in that URL, if it is login that you people agreed in this sprint that you are going to start with, it's going to be login that you will start with. They'll start giving you in bits and bits, and that's the way that environment. So you will be provided access to your test environment. So they will give you the URL. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, thank you for your help. Okay, lastly, today in our meeting, I just when I was reading through Azure DevOps, reading through our test plan, so a script, so user story. One of the user story, the website we have header, the body, and the footer. So there's a so in that user story, they just said, I scroll down and I should see subscribe button. I should see email, but it's not specified either it's on the header, on the middle of the on the body, or on the footer. So I was asking the question, but it was in the daily stand-up. So I want to really teach what you taught us today about the static testing. So in this kind of situation, so I raised it that, okay, the business analyst in this house, can you answer? I have a question for you. So I was asked, okay, that we cannot ask this question in daily stand-up. I have to meet them privately. Okay, so in the real world setup, how does it work because we're in the sprint one, we just rush through. There's no, and we are new to this role. So we cannot have a lot of questions because of time limitation. So there's nothing so in such a situation, how does it work in the real life setting and in the training like this? How should we go about a situation like that?
Okay, so for me to answer your question, I will start with what you said. You said in the user story, it has a header, it has a body. It says scroll down. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It says scroll down. So it means down. So that's my example. So it should be down. But by and large, if you don't understand, in a real world, when you In fact, this is a real world. Let me tell you, what I want you all to take tonight is that anything you are doing in this internship is a real world. That is a real way you are going to work at your workplace. Yeah, that's the real way you are going to work at your workplace. So it's going to give you a clear overview of how you are meant to work at your workplace. That is the reason you are here in the intern. So the understanding of you people saying real, it is real because you are really working in an environment. The same process is what is going to take you at your normal workplace. Now, in this context, what you are meant to do is that in the daily stand-up, you can, maybe you don't want to say it there. You can send a chat. We always have our normal chat at your workplace. So, or you send an email to say, can we have a chat about bug number this and the other? Simple, that I have something to clarify there. And when it comes, when you want to have a meeting with people, I always like to be prepared. Any question you want to ask, make sure you've already put the question down, then you are able to ask the person. Of course, you might not understand that it's a scroll down. You might want the person to put it in a more likely way. But if he or she, you have to reach an agreement to say it. But for me, I can't scroll down. Down, I will go down. Up, I will go up. So those phase too needs to come to play. So at any time, you're free to do that. And does that answer your question, Opayemi? Opayemi, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma. Please, before, I don't know whether it's still on. Please, I want to quickly say something on that, please, ma. Like he rightly said, I think they should be able to provide him the answer to his question, because this is more like a walkthrough in a type of static test he just taught us this night. I don't think any role should be looked down upon or should be disrespected when you are doing a daily stand-up. Okay. And I think we all deserve our answers if you ask any question.
No. So Abdul Ghaffar, you're mixing it up now. Let me come back again. What I have said is that yes, do you understand? During daily stand-up, you can ask your question. Absolutely, is meant to be. They are meant to answer him any question. When you are here, any question is meant to be answered. At daily stand-up, naturally, it's not meant to take more than 15 minutes. Now, you might be lucky. Maybe you people are just like 8 in a stand-up. So if you take 1 minute round, you still have spare minutes. But now iterate to a place where you are big in the maybe you're like 15 and you have to finish stand up within 15 minutes. So would they expect you to say what you've learned, what you have, and if you've got any blockers? So at that blocker, you can. At this phase, you can ask any question at any point. Nobody is meant to turn you down. Your questions are relevant and very important as expected. There's no question that doesn't make sense here. They all make sense. It's better you ask us now than going to ask when you get to the field. You get that? So it's not meant to be turned down. The question is meant to be answered. So if they cannot give him at the daily stand-up, if nobody can answer you at that daily stand-up, then move to the person that have the user story. And my expectation there was that the Scrum Master should have said, Opayemi, can you speak with the BA? And BA, can you please have a chat with Opayemi at the end and let him explain and clarify things to him? So that's the expectation.
Yeah, the Scrum Master said that. So yeah, he said that because the issue is that in the body they say scroll down, in the footer they say scroll down, and their wireframe is I mean it's not even clear at all. It's just
So now you have said it fully. The wireframe is not clear. So you have to ask that question. Sorry, the wireframe is not clear. You need to give me. It is your right. You must. What you are doing is a strong one. You have to put it down to say, I don't understand the wireframe. You said scroll down. What I'm saying in this wireframe does not correlate. It does not tally with what you're putting there. Can you please explain further? Or if the wireframe is not properly prepared, can someone go there? And if they're still arguing about, you can take this further and escalate it. If you don't have a test manager, see people are there, look at it, weigh it again, call your next QA. In this wireframe, does it tally with what you have? If that person tells you, oh, truly you said it, now you can push it over to the product owner. Excuse me, in this place, this is what you have said. We don't have this understanding. Then it could be sorted out. If you don't have a good, clear understanding in the wireframe, I would tell you with what it tallies in the user story, then is what escalating. I take it. If you've escalated through the right channel and they don't, I will take it up myself. That is our job. We as mentors, we as body, I will take it up, put it to us, and let us take that up. Why won't they do that? It is your call. You should be able to. So that's the reason why we are here. Understood? So I now totally get you. So that's it. Yes. Sorry, I think from the admin, prep major, who is raising the hand?
No? Yemi, that's me. Yemi, it's
correct. Me. Oh, yeah, Pat.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's Pat here. I've been listening in. So I just put something in the chat. Thank you very much, Yemi, for the responses. I would just like to add something. So I was with Team Zeta yesterday, and we had a few questions, and there were some things that I had to clarify with them, and I think it's also important that we do the same here as well. So something I put in the chat, I said an excellent QA asks questions. So you want to be a QA that stands out, you should ask questions. And well done to you for raising that question. Is it Opeyemi? Yeah, with a B. Remember, you're meant to treat this place as a workplace. And you've done the right thing by asking the question, because what you don't want is to test the ticket and sign it off because the business analyst has captured the user story or requirements wrongly. Okay, so if it gets wrong from the business analyst and the developer doesn't pick anything up, and it gets to you, the QA, and you don't pick it up, and you sign it off, and it goes to the client, nobody's going to say who developed it. They're going to say, was this tested? So it's important that if you are not clear on the requirement, and that is why the sprint planning is important. In fact, when user stories are being refined, there's usually a sprint refinement session of the user stories. Now, if because you do all of this when you're sprint planning as well. If you're looking at the user story and it is not clear, something is not clear, no matter how silly it might sound to you if you ask that question. Something as simple as the web page must be colored blue. Okay. Say the header must have blue. Some requirements are that detailed. And you are thinking, okay, I know there are different variations of blue. Just to be clear on that, it is right to say, okay, blue, what variation of blue is it? So I know I am signing off the right color in my testing. So that's just a simple example. And it is right to ask that question. See, what you don't want is to be that QA that they don't hear his or her voice. And something gets, the user story gets to you, and you are raising it when it's like 2 days to the end of a sprint. This period is sprint 1, week 1 of sprint 1. Static testing is mostly what you'll be doing in ensuring that this requirements, you actually understand what you would need to be testing, because at this point, you are writing your test cases, you are creating test cases against that specific user story, and you want to pick up, make sure that your user stories are capturing what needs to be captured. So you just need to make sure that you are asking the right question. And what you have done so far is right. All you just need to ensure is that you get your answers. Make sure you get your answer. And there's something, we call it 3 amigos. I would say go and read about it, and or pop that question in the QA guild. So 3 amigos is just a session between developer, QA, and BA. And the outcome of a 3 amigos session is for the 3 roles in that agile team to be on the same page with what the expectation is of the user story. So keep asking questions if you are not clear. It is very, very okay to ask those questions, and always be prepared when it's time for sprint planning. Ask those questions. Okay? Well done.
Okay, thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, so I think at least looking at here, someone is asking, before I call Olamide, I'll call you, but before I go there, let me just look at, when can a QA start using Gherkin? Gherkin is meant to be Gherkin syntax to test or write test cases in Azure DevOps. You can start right from the time. In our test cases, you can write either a given when then, with manually in your Azure DevOps. And the same given when then that you write manually, you can automate it. So like you can use that same test, import it and use it for automation. So you can write it that way, given I am on prepmajor.com website, and I enter my username, my username as this, and I enter my password as this. When I click the submit button, then the Prep Major homepage should be displayed. You can take the same script, execute it manually. Take the same script, go and automate it, do your dynamic testing on it. That's the way it works. So it can start at any time. You can use it in this thing. And I'm expecting that when we are doing a test case review. Anyone that is going to do review session with you, I will make sure I pop that in for that mentor or the bodies to make sure that you write your test cases in Giving When Then. When you're going to give me your test cases, when we are going to do the demo here, you must do the normal one that we did, and you must do the Giving When Then scenario. Please, please, and please, you must do that. That's the way it is. So can we link up V module and static testing and dynamic testing? So all the V module is a methodology. Static testing, dynamic testing. So when you mean link, I'm trying to, can we say waterfall static testing? No, I don't, what, you are mixing things up. So we've got the methodology, we've got types, types of testing are the static testing, dynamic testing. So waterfall, we got requirement level, you can do static testing there. That is, from your question, I believe that's what I mean. You can do static testing there. So you can do it at those phases. So someone is answering, sorry. So let me pick another question from here. Olamide, please.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
I just want you to clarify a statement from previous lecture. I think you at one time you said testers work alongside with the SM and from the business analyst, the testers, then the developer. Then business analyst, SM developer, then the tester, that they work hand in hand, And I observe from my own observation for the SM and the BA, they've gone quite far, and each time I join to observe what they are doing. Now, at times I was tempted to even ask if we started at the same time, if they're part of this winter session or they are part of previous session, with terminologies and the things they are doing, and I tend to imagine what's happening with the QA. But based on the previous lectures, you made a statement like we work hand in hand at par alongside together with the SM.
But okay,
so far it's like we are still kind of at the foundation, kind of.
So that, like now, what happens in every work stream is really it differs. It differs. So what I mean is that your own role is different from what an SM does, what a product owner does. So reason I said we all work together, and I still stand to be corrected. You can't have only a tester in an organization. No. There are different people within a Scrum team. A Scrum team comprises of various roles, various responsibility. You are in a Scrum team. We have developers there. We all work together as one. It can't just be only testers there. So if you don't have a developer, how do you want to test? If you don't have a BA, how do you want to get requirements? If you don't have a Scrum Master, how would our sprint planning and the rest be going? If we don't have a product owner, how are we going to get the bigger picture of what we want to build? Hence, we all work together as one. It's a big team of all of us comprises of it, but we all got various roles and responsibility. Now, let me dwell further to what you've said about if they've gone far or not. Look, in QA, the main foundation, the main thing you need is this. By the time you start your dynamic testing, it's going to be different. You are thinking, oh, this is it. In testing, if you sit with other testers too that have started before and you start talking, then you will know that you also know what you're doing. With QA, with Scrum Master, they have their own terminologies they use there. You as a QA, you have your own terminology that you use. So it's it is a different role, different responsibility. So I won't say they've not gone far. I'm not there. But of course, everyone is gone. They've gone. We are all doing our work, and you're all part of the intern. And not to forget, too, as they are doing it, they've got mentors, they've got bodies there that are taking them through the rigors of this. They have people that are working with them too. So don't think these interns might be the ones that I've done earlier, and it can also be the new ones. But from my understanding, and what I believe that you're doing for now, you all you have the best knowledge that you have for now.
Yeah, well, one more. Yeah, the reason for asking is this. Excuse me, sorry. Talk about static testing.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you continue.
Yeah, we talked about static testing, and we talked about the review, the walkthrough, the inspection, and from this lecture, the review has to do with testing requirements, of which they are using to start their own part of the process, and I'm just trying to get it, kind of clarify this statement, and to get to know how we are actually doing the review of the requirement they are already using. And we are still kind of at this stage.
So
did you get what I'm trying to say? We are reviewing requirements, but we are still at this stage of trying to understand the foundation. Of course, they have started, but we are still working together.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Because that is the business analyst's job. That is his own role and responsibility. He should be able to create a requirement. Your own job is for you to face your own, to do your own testing. And that is why you're reviewing that requirement. If she does not learn how to gather the requirement, how do you want to review the requirement she has gathered? Do you get what I'm coming now?
Yeah.
So someone needs to teach her to learn to gather the requirement. Is when she has learned how to gather the requirement, that is when Olamide can be able to review the requirement the business analyst learned how to gather. If the business analyst does not learn her own job, you as a tester will not be able to do static testing on it. So now you as a tester, like now, if you're telling the business analyst about test plan, test strategy, he will be looking at you because they too did not know how test plan, test case, those things work. That is your own area of specialization. Our own area of specialization is requirement gathering. Elicitation, do it, gather it. You as this person, your own testing phase works on the requirement. You are not meant to gather the requirement for the person. So do you understand now? So you might think she's gone far. No, I still stand to be correct. You are all in your own, the level you are meant to be is the level you are. The level they are meant to be is the level they are in. So they also, it's just like you are writing test cases now. If I call the business analyst, can you come in, write this, do the test case of login? He'll be looking at me that, why will how do you expect me to know test case of login? These people have gone foul. Are you sure we are doing the same thing? I'm only gathering requirements. That is the way it works. So this is your own job. So you are thinking because you are joining them, they are getting information. That information is what they are gathering as the requirement to put down. Pat, I can see your hand up again.
Yes, I'm still off. Thank you so much, Yemi, for that. Okay, QAs, please don't shortchange yourself on this program. The BA's role is not more important than your role, and neither is the Scrum Master's role. Okay? Everyone gets to an expert level of knowledge and experience that they are supposed to be at. at every sprint if they don't shortchange themselves. Sprint 1 is a preparation time for your tests. Every QA at this point, and what I'm saying is not different from what is going to happen when you graduate and go out there to find a role that will pay you. You are, in fact, if you take this as a role, you should take this internship as a work placement. It's just that you are not getting paid. You're getting the experience. You are getting a fast track program into the market. So don't shortchange yourself. If you want to understand what they are doing, you can join in their meetings and just listen, if you get what I mean. But the most important thing to do is to be sure and own your space as the QA. And know that this sprint 1, week 1, you have test strategy document written. And I think this is part of what Digi is looking to see at the end of sprint 1 as part of your presentation. You have the test plan that is specific to the project that you're meant to deliver written. You have created test cases for each of the user stories. And you have written your test scripts. That's the test steps in each of your test cases. If you're a QA and you are hiding behind other QAs and you're not participating, you are shortchanging yourself. And I suggested to the QAs yesterday, rotate the QA lead role in each of your teams. Whoever is leading this sprint will have another person supporting. When you are writing your test cases, create it as a task. Let each tester write their own test cases, how they understand how to write test cases individually. Don't rely on one QA writing all the test cases. If one QA is writing all the test cases for you, you are only there as a ghost QA member, and you are not supposed to do that on this team. You're going to enjoy it much later. In fact, you come back and say thank you to all your mentors if you get involved and participate. So please, the task that you're meant to be doing now, I would suggest you focus on it. Go back into your teams. If you are ready to put yourself forward to lead sprint 1, this as a QA, put yourself forward. It's going to help you. You're going to learn. So don't even think the BAs have gone ahead or whatever. Everybody is an intern. I'm not even sure if we have other people that have done internship before on any of the project group. I'm not sure. They might be in the Microsoft Dynamics, but not in any of this group, except that people are coming in with different levels of exposure to IT. Some don't have any exposure at all. And it's even good if you don't have any exposure at all. If you have a little, it's still good. Because what you are doing here, when you get out there, it is not different. But you just need to just be in it. In fact, I said to the team members in my project yesterday, I said, you know what? When you go out as from today, when somebody introduces themselves to you and they're telling you, oh, this is what I do, tell them too, I am an agile tester. This is what I do. I don't know what role or background you're coming from. Start to call it forth and start to be it. Start to do it on this program. And if you are able to get your hands dirty and learn, see, as I was speaking about Three Amigos, somebody already went to Google to go and read it up. The life of a tester is a smart, quick, think on your feet one. And you've got to be it. You've got to do it for you to get it. Okay, I don't want to go into coaching mode. All right, guys. Thanks.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
hello, yeah.
I just wanted to ask. Sorry. As we're doing these meetings on on Zoom, are we going to be moving to Teams at all?
Yes.
Okay.
At some point, yeah.
Okay, because I'm in a group right at the moment right now, and I just they just been sending links to join team groups, and I'm quite confused as they clash with the same time as this. I just wanted to understand. The group is called Beta, and it's on Telegram.
Is that your project team?
I'm not really sure. That's what I was quite confused about. I just wanted to understand.
Are you? Do you know what project team you belong to?
I clicked the link and I saw my name in this one, and I clicked the link for it.
Okay, can you DM me on Telegram? We need to clarify because you are supposed to participate in your project group as well. If you are not participating in your project group, you are a ghost QA, and you can't be that in that group. They need to hear your voice. They need to know that there's a QA, there's a police in this team.
Okay.
They need to know you are there.
What's your name on Telegram?
Yeah, Pat.
Bear with me a moment. Because they sent me a link to join the Teams group, but they were talking about something totally different and with BAs and I was just quite confused. Am I in the right group? And then I have this the QA's Zoom call to join where we just learn. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the qualities of a good QA is to pay attention to details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you need to check if that link says QA meeting or whatever it is. Then you also need to know what project team you belong to. So there's let me explain the structure. You are meant to be in 3 teams.
Yeah.
First, general internship team.
Okay. Yeah.
You are meant to be in the QA guild. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're meant to be in your project team. If you are in more than 3, you're not doing the right thing.
Okay.
So you need to be in 3 teams.
Yeah, I can see the QA group, QA guild, and the general place for where the internship, and I do see another thing called 2023 W Beta Blue Sky. I just wanted to confirm if I'm in the right group.
Okay, if it's beta, that's your team. Are you in any other group?
No.
Okay, so this goes to everybody. You need to engage in your team as a QA, because when you are not engaging, the Scrum Masters and BAs, they tend to just dive in deep into their own roles, and they forget that the QAs are there. I don't know why QAs are usually quiet in their teams, but you shouldn't be. They need to hear your voices, and it is called visibility.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want management to want to think of, okay, yeah, we need to let go of some staff in this company. Who can we let go of? And then, oh, no. Oh, we know Okpayemi. Oh, no, he's a fantastic tester. We hear him all the time. He knows his stuff. And then there's this QA that knows his stuff, but he's just quiet. You are not visible enough for them to know you or think you are adding any value apart from knowing that you are in a team and some testing goes on in your team. Okay. So the QA role is a very much appreciated role in any agile project. So please, everything we are saying here, apart from just picking user stories and testing, it is more than that. You need to exhibit those attributes, be visible. Okay.
I've just sent you a text on I've just sent you a text on Telegram saying hi, Pat. I just wanted to confirm. Is it in this sprint? Are we going to be learning the coding or any other programs as a DevOps or anything? Because I was sent a link onto my email about as a DevOps.
Yeah, you need to check what date it is. The date will be there. If you got a link in Azure DevOps, that's probably to get you into your Azure DevOps to be able to write your test cases. But if you're going to be doing automation testing, you would get an email as well if it's happening on Teams. And I think that is going to be happening on Teams. So you should get an email stating the date. And as a matter of fact, all lectures, you would get a notification in your QA guild and in the general group.
Okay, no problem. I've just texted you anyway, by the way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers, yeah.
So, JF. Okay.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, good evening.
Okay. Oh, good evening. Yeah, I think one of the things I wanted to talk about, Pat has said it clearly, and I won't go into that. But the one I also want to mention is when you were explaining earlier, explaining the types of static testing, I realized that you gave 3 types, and I thought it should be 4. So I don't know if it's something you want to look into.
So what's the 4th one, please?
So there is technical review. I noticed I couldn't see technical review there.
It's already in, I've already collated it. So let's go back to the slide. That's why I said it could be done technically or non-technically. Like formal and informal was already under the review. So where's the objective of testing? Reviews can be done technically or not technically.
Yes, that's correct. But what I'm saying is, I'm referring to probably maybe because I'm looking at it from perspective of the way it's been handled or the way ISTQB called it. Yeah, I thought maybe technical review needs to be separate, inspection review. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Abdul Gafal.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate your all your encouragement this night and that of Pat. And by that, I think you have also captured a major percentage of what I was going to raise. Because I realized also in my own group that the Scrum Masters, the business analysts, developers, they have been doing daily stand-up, without any maybe invitation or concern for QAs, maybe with the perspective that our own job is going to take place when they finish their own aspect. And I think one of our mentors have also called our attention to that at the end of the day, it may be that the junk of the work is going to be on QAs if we are not careful.
Yeah.
So what you have taught us tonight shows that we should be part of the meeting regularly, such that whatever thing is not clear to us, we should raise it and have our voice heard, just like you have encouraged and Pat has encouraged too. And so I think there should be a general orientation with the Scrum Masters, the BS, and other roles that the QAs also should be part of their daily stand-up. Even if we are not needed to talk, we can be there as observants or spectators, like Pat rightly said, so that we are also learning, and whatever we are not clear of, we have the right to talk. And so based on that, that's what that's the concern I wanted to raise, and I think you have actually encouraged us to do so.
Yeah, you're actually
be aware
right.
that we can be part of their meetings.
Yes.
Part of their meetings. And if the time they have chosen for their stand is not convenient for any one of us, maybe I think there should be opportunity to record and also paste the record of the meetings in our various groups so that we can go through it and so we can understand what we are meant to do before our own job.
No, Abdul Gafar, yes. You're right, but you're not meant to. You are meant to be part of the stand-up meeting. That's why there is a vote. You all agree as a team for a specific time when everybody will be available. It must be agreed. You must be available. If you're not going to come one day, you should let the team know that I won't be available today due to this. It's simple. They don't need to much, but you all must be together. You don't record stand up down. When you record and you listen to it later, it doesn't. You've not. You should be there. As part of the team, because you need your voice need to be heard. You also need to say what you have done. So no, it shouldn't be done between just business analysts and scrum master. They are not all developers. No, you're all part of the team. You also need to be there. You need to be
thank
heard.
you. Thank you. Quickly, the reason why I say that is that in their invitations, you will see that this is for scrum masters and BAs. You know, there won't be mention of QAs. That's why you usually think that, oh, we are not yet involved in this activity until
no, then you have to.
I think that also explains my question.
Yes, Olamide. Yes, I wanted to talk when you were talking, but I wanted to allow you to finish talking. So it's a follow-up to what Olamide said.
Yeah, we actually don't know how we should work together. So that part is not really clear yet. How do we work together? Because you've made the statement in earlier classes that there's a way all those teams work together, all the roles work together in achieving that product. So I've not been seeing that relationship, working together, with the other roles. So I really don't understand that part yet.
So those parts, I would tell you all have to work together as a team. Nobody is meant to be left out. If there's no QA in a team, in their meeting, if the sprint have started, if your project have started, then that is an end. They've not started work at all. You must be in that meeting all the time, because that's why I'm trying to understand the reason behind them not saying this is for Scrum Master and BA only. No, it is not allowed. If it is sprint meeting, if it is daily stand-up, no. Daily stand-up is everyone. In a daily stand-up, you will have your QA, you have everybody working on the project. So when you're working on a project, why will you be segregated not to join the team? No. So if that is the way it has been, then it means we need to correct, we need to act and also be sure that people are not misleading others. That's what I want to say. But for me, I will tell you outrightly, as a tester, you should be in that Scrum meeting. You have to be there. It's a must. So if does that answer your question, Abdul Gafal?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? So I'm going to, you and Olamide, I'll have to check that. I'll look at your group and see what has been sent out. So that's it. Then Olati, please. Olati. Okay.
Can you also check my group, because I'm quite confused what's going on in my Scrum as well?
Hello.
No, it will be for everyone. Don't worry, it's going to be for everyone. Yeah. Hello, I can hear you, please.
Okay, okay. This is Olatunji.
Yes, please.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, Olat. Yeah, good evening. Yeah. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. In regards to what Abdul Gafar and Olamide, because I think it depends on the Scrum Masters, their team. Like our own team, when we had our stand-up meeting, the daily stand-up, the one we had, everybody was there. The DA and the QAs, every one of us are there. So I think it's very important for, the daily stand-up meeting is very important. The QA should be there, and they should try to relate with their Scrum Masters in their group so that they can send them the link, to join the daily stand-up at least every day, which is 15 minutes. I think it's important to be with the Scrum Masters.
We cannot hear you well.
You can't hear me now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
A bit better, but you can still do better.
Okay. What I'm saying is that in each group here, you people need to relate with your Scrum Masters, concerning the daily stand-up meeting. So that with that, because in our own group, the first day we had it, everybody was there. The BAs, the Scrum Masters, and the KAs, we are all there. So it's very important so that they can know where you are. So I don't know in other groups, but in our own group, that's where we've been doing it. But like today, because we have different lectures, that's why we can't do it today. So I think you people need to relate with your Scrum Masters in your group to let them know that you need to be part of the stand-up meeting so that they can send you the link. That is what I see to that. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
thank you. Yes, thanks. So can I ask every QA to go into their teams, into your project team on Telegram? Just go there. You should be able to do that. So if you're all there, let me know. It's just to show you something. There's a way you communicate and there's a way you communicate effectively if you want to get results. So when you click on that on your teams at the top, 2023 winter let's say 2023, I'm on Upsilon now. 2023 W Upsilon - Blue Sky Citadel. Just click on it. Are we all there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we all there?
No.
Okay, please, let's do that.
Yes.
Yes. No, where are we going precisely?
Hold on.
Telegram. I don't want us to leave this meeting without resolving some really, really basic things. Yeah.
So where, please?
At the top. Your own project group. Yeah. Click at the top.
That's Upsilon.
Upsilon. Okay. I'm on Upsilon now. Somebody is typing Abraham Tefa. If you're an Upsilon, that means we are saying the same thing.
I'm on Twitter now.
Okay. Now click at the top. Click on that Upsilon Blue Sky. Click on it.
Upsilon. Where is that?
Your group. If you're on Alpha, click on Alpha. If you're on Beta, click on Beta.
Yeah.
At the top, click on it. I'm using an iPhone. I don't know. If you click on it, you are going to see back, and you are going to see back on the left. You are QAs. So you need to be able to navigate any application. When you click on it, you are going to see back on the left and edit on the right. That's what I'm saying. I'm using an iPhone.
Sorry, I'm using a system. So I didn't see all of that.
Yeah, you didn't see. We only have the projects.
Can you see? When you click on it, you will see the number of people that are in your team. 31 members, 3 online.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to
see 5 online. Yes.
We're not admins.
Hello, excuse me. Is it 2023 W?
Yes. Whatever project name it is. Yeah.
37 members. This and
okay. Fantastic. Now, can you see the description of your project there?
Yeah.
You can see.
No, where is that?
Yeah, you can see. Project Apex Tutor.
Yeah, can you see that?
I can't see that, please. I can't see that.
You should be able to see that. Where are you looking at? Are you on the system or on a phone?
On the system.
On the system.
Yes.
If we are on your group, there is.
It should be there. Just double click.
Whatever.
So if you're on the system,
yeah,
you need to double click your project name. Double click, it will open its tiny window on the right. And if you scroll down, you're going to see all those details there.
Okay,
fine. You guys are QA. Make yourself proud, though. Okay. So if you can see the description, thumbs up, everyone. Now, under the description, you see members?
Yeah.
Media?
Yes.
Files?
Yes.
Links?
Yeah.
So if you can't see, please let everybody put your hands down now. If you can't see any of this, put your hands up. Then we'll know. Because I really want us to resolve some basic things here tonight before we leave this session. If you can't see any of that, hands up. Or just type in I can't see. Then we'll know who needs support after this class. Just type in I can't see. But be sure that you are using Telegram. Because if you are not using Telegram, I won't be able to support. If you are not on Telegram, if you have not connected to Telegram, we will not be able to support you. Okay. I believe everybody can see. Now, on your Telegram.
No, I can't see mine. I can't see.
Are you using a phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you in a project group? Okay, they've gone quiet.
No, I'm using a computer, and what I'm seeing is, and is you see, if you click on it, you see group info, and there you see the project title, then the project description, then you see notification,
Yeah,
and photos.
Yeah. Yes.
Links. Okay.
Yeah,
Actions.
that's it. That's all you need to
All right.
see.
Okay.
Now,
they apply differently. Different system.
Now, under members, you can see add members. Can you see that?
Not really.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. No. Okay, that's fine.
Just see
Okay.
the members.
You'll probably not be able to see that, which is fine. Okay. Now, but you can see media.
Yes.
Yes. If you click on media, what do you see?
On media, you can see all the I think
all the documents have been sent.
documents.
That's been sent. Okay. So do you all know how to check this? You can see your mentor's availability, their time. You can see your calendar.
No, I can see. I can see media.
Ninja is photo.
Challenge.
Okay.
And you can see the list of people in your team.
Yeah.
You can see that list. Okay, now if you're an Upsilon and your Scrum Masters have not been carrying you along, or the BA for the stand-up, all you just need to do is to tag them. You just put at Chioma at. Okay. Hold on. I don't.
Ray, please. It seems your background. You're making noise.
This shows solidarity.
Okay, is everybody okay? Okay, so I'm back on Telegram. So, for example, I'm looking at Upsilon Group, and I'm a QA there, and I've not been carried along with the stand-up. All I just need to do is to go into the Telegram text and tag at Chioma, at Charles, at Valentine, at Abraham, at Mary, at Ogenero, at Temitope, at Adenike, at Adenuga. I'm going to tag all the SMs and the BAs there to say, can you kindly send us the link, send me the link to the stand-up. You understand? If at least you tag like 10 people, you understand? One person will respond. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So the thing is, then they know that if we are not involving this QA, this person is going to start tagging everybody. Because it is, everybody is learning, okay? I understand that. However, they might just get diving deep into their own role, and they forget to send you invites. And I must say, I have been looking at the project teams. Our QAs have all been quiet. Maybe you're wondering, I don't know what I need to do. Do I know what? You understand? You need to step out and ask questions. Okay? Now, when you tag them, one of them will respond. And I know a number of the SMs, they've sent out polls to say, what date do you want us to have a stand-up? And some QAs have not responded at all. So why are you going to be in the team if you have not responded? Meaning that you've not even responded to initial inquiry about the date and time for stand-up. Though I'm not giving an excuse for the Scrum Masters, they should have even slide into your DMs to say, Okpayemi, Olatunde, Abdul Gafar, you guys have not heard your voice. I've not heard your voices. I've not heard any messages from you. This is the link to vote for a stand-up time. Can you please put in your vote? They should have tagged you so that you get the message. This 3 months, guys, please make this Telegram your means of communication. Excuse me, okay, I think I need to mute everybody now. So okay, so going through your Telegram now, I think everybody understands. If you want to get if you tag people specifically, they are going to see that somebody needs their attention. Interns that are complaining that we've not heard from our mentor and whatever, tag these mentors. Now, if you've tagged them and you've requested, give them some time, because all the mentors are volunteers as well. They might be at their workplace. Okay, send a gentle reminder to them or slide into their DMs if you really need their attention. The availability is there. So these are the little things that you just need to get used to doing, because you're going to get to an organization that is even larger than Blue Sky, and you have to communicate with people in your team. So I hope everybody is clear on how to use Telegram as well to be able to communicate effectively and get the best out of this program.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yemi, over to you if you still want to say anything.
Yeah, so I believe, Kobe, is your hand still on? Up?
Maybe you forgot.
No, yeah, I've got a few questions. Very brief
Okay,
one.
sorry. Your question, please.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, just due to the inspiration from yourself and the Lady Pat today, I really want to get started on writing some plans. So just a few questions on test plans. First of all, does the test plan need to be reviewed by the PO and the BAs and verified before we can move forward?
Okay. So your test plan, you need to have reviewers. Okay. So first of all, because you are 4 or 5 QAs in your team, you know what? Just enjoy the process of reviewing together as a team. You'll be surprised what other inputs the other QAs can give. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once the QAs are reviewed, you have a QA manager. Okay. If you look back into your Telegram, you are going to see who your QA manager is. That is Oyi.
Mm-hmm.
Tag her and ask her to review your test plan. Okay. So once she's done that, she would give you her feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And once she's giving you her feedback, because usually once your QA manager has given you a feedback, on the test plan that you've written. Okay, let's take it. Let me take it back a bit. So once the rest of the QA members have given their feedback, give it to Onyi. She's a QA manager and she's also a mentor. Okay, so she would go over it for you, and she can give you feedback based on what you have written in the context of your project. Okay. If Onyi feels there is something that is not clear or whatever, she'll absolutely reach out to me or other mentors in the team. That's how this is going to work. And once that looks good, then tag your Scrum Masters, tag your BA. Trust me, they don't even know what a test plan is. You understand? But there's a part for them to play as well. For the Scrum Master, the Scrum Master is the one that would end up going to the stakeholders as well, say at management level, say we have a test plan, our QA has written this, fantastic, whether they know it or not. Once I the Scrum Master, I'll say, Pat, can you walk through this test plan for me? And I would do that, and he's like, okay, yeah, that's good, fantastic. Oh, I get it now. Oh, why do we need this there? Why do we need this there? And that Scrum Master will ask some other questions, and all this comes with experience. Okay. However, if your Scrum Master can't give you any feedback or whatever, but your Scrum Master should also be part of the approvers. Okay. Then the BAs too need to have a read. Okay. There's nothing much the BAs are doing. For them, the part that is important to them is where you are saying these are the features that are in scope for testing within this project. Okay. The BA is not concerned with whether you are doing automation testing or manner. Your Scrum Master will be like the person that would mostly be concerned, because if the overall test strategy of a company says we'll be doing automation, your Scrum Master will be driving it. We need automation. Do you understand? Now, then you now have your BA will be a reviewer. Okay. Scrum Master will be an approver. And what else? Your QA manager, do you understand, will also be an approver, if you get what I mean. Yeah, because the QA manager would also be the one to point out to you to say, oh, part of a company's test strategy is to also do automation testing. And if it's not part of what you've written in your test plan, the QA manager would bring that up for you. Okay. So once that is done, get you ready, and sometimes because of changes or feedbacks that come, it will be a working document, but get it done, covering what you need to be doing in the context of our project, and get it ready for presentation, and it gets signed off at the end of the day. So I think sometimes in the company it will be the QA manager, you signing off, saying that I'm putting my signature on this, written by this, written and produced by so person, Patricia, and your QA manager signs it off, because technically your QA manager is your line manager. That's how it works. Yeah. Okay. So I hope everybody understands the flow.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah. Also, so does the test plan need to be specifically formatted on an application, or can it just be written up on Word, for example?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I can write it on Word, but if you want it to look like really, you can write it up on Word and then you put it on Wiki. Okay. Or if it's Jira, there's another tool called Jira. You put it on Jira Confluence. If it's on Microsoft on Teams, you put it in Azure DevOps, you put it on Wiki, and you would also put it on your Teams SharePoint, because there's always a repository for putting documentation. So you can create a folder for testing. You just name it 2023 winter Kappa team, and just test plan. And your test plan can have versions as well. Version 1, version 0.1, it can have versions as well. Because if you leave that company, somebody else can pick it up and update it. And there will be it will also have what's it called now? That template where you update, updated by date and all that. But in an agile team, documentation is not much of a, because by the first time you finish the documentation, people just read it and just get on. But as a tester, you need to have one and own it. Because if you don't have one, they employ another tester and that tester comes in, or maybe they employ you and you meet another tester there. They don't have a test plan or anything. Your own very first way to shine is to show them you know how to write a test plan, if you get what I mean. But sometimes you may not need to write it. If it's not a new project, all you just need is to review the test plan in your first days or first week at work, so you understand their ways of working and the kind of testing that is being done. That's it.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. So,
Okay.
sorry, very quickly. No, I think it's pretty much been answered. I was going to ask if you need to write a different test plan for each story, but
no,
it needs to be.
not at all.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Thank you.
Okay. So just quickly on that test plan, because in a group, there are a lot of QAs, like 3, 4, 5. Are we? I mean, there are a lot of sections in the test plan. Do we split that to write it? I mean, to share that, or somebody needs to write it and all of us should review it, or how, or is it a must that before we pass out of this intern, we have to, all of us must write the test plan?
Okay. If I want to be miserly with information on how to be an excellent tester, I'll say, don't worry, let everybody just contribute, put everything together and just submit it. But if I really want to be objective and looking at what is achievable, okay, every single QA should be able to write a test plan. You should be able to produce a test plan documentation. And it will be nice, not nice to have, but it will be a must to be able to do as a QA on your own in this first sprint. The reason is that it is one of the basic documentation. It could even be the only documentation involving plenty of text that any tester would ever write. So you can't go out there and say, I've got 3 years of experience, 5 years experience. You are searching for work, and then they ask you to write the test plan and you have no clue. So if each person in the team, everyone in the team, can try their hands on creating a test plan, it's fine. But if you want to come together, get a single template, book 1 hour or 2 hours among yourselves as QAs. In fact, if you don't see anybody, still book those 2 hours, commit to it, just do it. If they join you on that meeting, they are welcome. Work on it and produce something. It might be 2 pages. The template is there. If you can't fill it in, I mean, like, DM a mentor. Okay? Oh, I'm trying to figure this out. I don't know what to put in here. because you need to learn how to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry if I mean now that you are starting the sprint, so the test plan we are writing, if we write one now, it's going to cover for all the sprints, right?
Yeah. Okay. You are not writing a test plan for sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint. You are only writing a test plan for the project. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are writing a test plan for project prep major instructor. You're writing a test plan for project Long Reach Way membership. So I'm just mentioning the names of the project. We're writing a test plan for Microsoft Dynamics Sales Portal. That's it. So in writing it, you don't overthink it, don't overanalyze it. Keep it simple based on what you understand and what you've learned. If you do it now, you're never going to struggle to put a test plan together. If you once you finish this program and you go out there, but if you don't do it at all, you are just going to be back to where it's just one of the basic things of the ISTQB foundation. You need to know how to write one.
Okay.
Sorry, but this thing
Thank you for letting us know that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can easily search online and get the templates to use, and it's just like when somebody wants to write a report, methodology, how do I go about it? I mean, I've been trying it. That's why, from my experience, from what I'm learning, that's the way it is. And then one can get templates online, and then one can develop that.
Okay, so specifically, just Google how to write an agile test plan, agile project test plan. And when you Google it, it's going to, I would say, click on images, go on Google, click on images. You are going to see variety of test plan templates. Then select any image there and click on the link that will take you to that template. Is that clear? All you just need to do is to download it. Yeah, download it and start filling. For example, but the test plan will also include something like method or development methodology or something. You just say this project is going to be developed in iterations. In iteration, and the methodology is agile. Just keep it simple for the first time. Don't overthink or overanalyze it. Keep it simple. Fill in what you know already, and you start to build on it as a team of QAs in your team. All these things are doable. You just need to create time for it. You are all here for a reason, yeah? So you remember your why. If your why is, I'm not going back to that manual job again. If your why is strong enough, you are going to do all you need to do to get out of it. If your why is, I need an increase in income and this IT role is going to get it for me, you will create time to do it. Everybody's quiet now. Okay. Yes. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.